Before he became a legend, Enzo Ferrari was just a kid who dreamed of racing cars in early 20th century Italy. Born in 1898, he became obsessed with racing after watching Felice Nazzaro compete in Bologna. By the time he was 10 years old, he already knew this was his path. He worked as a mechanic, a test driver, a racer, and eventually competed for Alfa Romeo. But the death of his son Dino changed him forever. From that moment on, Ferrari, his brand, stopped being just a car company. It became his way of fighting death. Of staying in the race. Of not forgetting. If stories like this move you, consider subscribing. We tell the kind of car stories that go straight to the heart. But the most special car Enzo ever built wasn't a roaring V12. It wasn't even one of his most powerful machines. It was a small sports car with a V6 engine. And it didn't even carry his name on the body. The Dino 246 GT wasn't a Ferrari. At least, not officially. It was the car Enzo refused to sign with his iconic badge. And yet, today it's one of the most beloved models in the brand's history. This is the story of a car born out of tragedy. And of a son who changed the destiny of Ferrari, even after his death. Before we continue with this emotional story, I want to show you something curious. There's a weird coincidence that's been circulating online for years, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. Mesut Ozil, the former Real Madrid and German national team player, looks shockingly similar to Enzo Ferrari. But here's the strange part. Enzo Ferrari died in 1988. And Ozil was born that same year. Same deep-set eyes. Same sharp facial structure. It's the kind of resemblance that makes you pause for a second. Of course, it's just a coincidence. But it's one of those little facts that adds another strange, poetic layer to the legend of Enzo. Alfredo Ferrari, known to everyone as Dino, was Enzo's firstborn. Smart, trained in mechanical engineering, and with a technical intuition that impressed even the veterans at Maranello. By 20 years old, he was already working alongside Ferrari's racing engineers, fascinated by compact, efficient six-cylinder engines. But at 22, everything changed. Dino started getting weaker. He struggled to walk. He was diagnosed with progressive muscular dystrophy. An incurable disease. While his body faded, his mind never stopped. From his bed, Dino kept insisting Ferrari should focus on a V6 engine, lighter, more compact. Perfect for smaller racing categories like Formula 2. He even left handwritten technical notes on how the camshaft should be designed. He died in 1956. Just 24 years old. Enzo was shattered. He didn't attend the funeral. He locked himself in his office. And for years, he banned anyone at the factory from mentioning Dino's name. Yet at the same time, he carried a photo of his son in his suit pocket. Every single day. And about a decade later, he decided to honor him. With a car. The result was the Dino 206 GT, a mid-engine sports car, curvy, low-slung, and sensual, designed by Pininfarina. It used a 2-liter aluminum V6, with a sharp, metallic sound that felt like the car had a soul. If you're enjoying the story so far, a like goes a long way, and helps us bring more hidden legends like this one to light. And here's the first big surprise, the engine wasn't made by Ferrari. It was built by Fiat. Yes, the most emotional Ferrari in history had an engine made in Turin, on the same assembly line as family sedans. Why? Cost. Ferrari needed to price it lower as an entry-level model. Fiat had the production capacity. Years later, a variation of that same engine powered the Lancia Stratos, a World Rally champion. But that wasn't the only controversy. The Dino didn't wear the Ferrari badge. No prancing horse. No Ferrari name. Just a yellow logo with the word Dino handwritten, like a personal signature. Enzo said, "This car isn't a Ferrari. It's my son's." And for years, people treated it like a side project. Purists dismissed it. Collectors ignored it. But out on the road, it told a different story. The Dino weighed just over 900 kilos. And while it had only 180 horsepower, its perfect weight distribution meant it could outpace cars with twice the power through high-speed corners. It had razor-sharp steering, a tubular frame, and a super low driving position, almost like a kart. The press started to notice. In 1969, the Dino 246 GT arrived with a bigger 2.4-liter iron block engine. Heavier, but more refined. And here's another hidden gem: the Dino was the first mid-engine production Ferrari. Without it, there would be no 308, no F355, no 458 Italia. The entire modern lineage of Ferrari Berlinettas started here. What began as a technical outlier, became a brand standard. And while that was happening, celebrities started catching on. Steve McQueen had one. Keith Richards drove one around London. Elton John bought one before he was famous. Luciano Pavarotti was once driven on stage in a Dino. And still, it was the Ferrari that wasn't a Ferrari. For decades, it was the cheapest Ferrari you could buy at auction. Even in the 1990s, you could get a Dino for under 30,000 euros. Today, that same car can sell for over 600,000 euros. Why such a massive shift? Because the story behind the Dino is more powerful than the spec sheet. Because the Dino isn't just a vintage sports car. It's a machine built from grief, a love letter in aluminum, and a silent revolution within Ferrari. Here's one last little-known fact: Enzo Ferrari forbade the use of the name Dino on any future models. It never appeared again. That tribute was one of a kind. And when Enzo died in 1988, he asked to be buried in a double tomb. The same one where Dino had already been resting for over 30 years. Today, the Dino is more than just a forgotten model. It's the car that opened a new technical chapter for Ferrari. The car that proved you don't need 12 cylinders to stir emotions. And maybe, the only Ferrari that wasn't built to compete, but to remember. Maybe Enzo never wanted to sign it. Maybe he denied it publicly. But he carried it in his heart until the very end. And you? Do you think a car can be more than just a car? Thanks for watching until the end. If this story moved you, I'd love to have you here for the next one. Consider subscribing, it's free, and you'll never miss the human side of machines. Until next time.